Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are here for day 3 of the Cape Town Sevens World Cup. This first matchup, it is for a spot in the 5th place playoff game. Ireland find themselves up against Fiji. Now, Fiji had a very narrow loss to the French, losing after the full-time siren. And Ireland, they were defeated in their game up against, I believe they ended up playing New Zealand, defeated 28-0. But now these two sides clash once again on the Seventh Circuit. Looking through at Fiji's starting lineup, it will be Baleki, Donu, Devaya, Alunisau, who was a little bit quiet in that last game up against France, Kavuru, Nkothi, and Anna-Marie Naimasi. So they have made quite a few changes to their starting lineup compared to what we saw for the last match. Looking through at Ireland, it will be Parsons, Eve Higgins, Stacey Flood, also McCabe, Emily Lane, Lucy Mulhall, and the speedster, Amy Lee Murphy-Crow, as the last one in the starting lineup. And also go Fiji Go, says Sola, and also Big Love Hamish. How are you feeling? Have you had some time to rest, says Sebastian? I got a little bit of sleep. I got 2 hours worth. George ended up coming around probably till around about maybe 5 p.m., somewhere around there, maybe a bit earlier. So he did stay for a bit longer than we anticipated. We did watch a bit of UFC in the end, but yeah, I'll probably end up sleeping today-ish, I think, or I might even end up going to work for tomorrow morning. And also Brandon has said, hi, welcome in. How do you think the cricket's going to go today, Sebastian? Please tell me the weather looking a little bit better than it was yesterday. We don't want any more time lost in that test, or else I don't think a result will be just around the corner. Looking through at the benches, it will be Nagasau. Also, it is Viniana Riwai, Tenai, Solokaviti, and Ditavutu. They're coming off the bench as well. Then Heffernan, Baker, Brittany Hogan, Megan Burns, and Erin King, the replacements for Ireland. So like I mentioned, this is for a spot in the 5th place playoff. They will end up going head-to-head with Canada, whoever wins this fixture. As long as you can not completely burnt out, don't forget to mind your health, says Sebastian. Surprisingly, I'm quite wide awake somehow. I didn't think I would be, because normally I do need, like, if I sleep, I need to sleep for a while, but I slept for 2 hours. I think it was just a little booster that I needed. You know, when you go to somewhere with electric cars, you plug them in for a little bit of time, you give them the little and then they can go again for a little while. I think that's like me at the moment. I think it may look different at about 6 a.m., but for now, we are feeling pretty good. Devaya as the captain for the Fijians, Lucy Mulhall, the captain for Ireland, and overcast, there should be no rain, looking like a decent day for England, ideal for bowling, says Sebastian. So yeah, imagine we get a result in 2 days worth of cricket. That would be absolutely incredible. Definitely with some of the first day getting rained off. But yeah, England will certainly be chasing those wickets. And yeah, let's do let me know, ladies and gentlemen, who you think will be winning this game. I think Fiji will be fired up after narrowly losing to the French. They'll want to prove something. Although the thing is, Ireland as well have got that situation of not wanting to leave this tournament just yet. They'd love to be able to play in the next playoff match. Imagine waiting 16 hours just to watch the Blitzbox lose. Couldn't be me, says Carl. Yeah, they did play at about 10:30 p.m. in the evening over there. And to watch them lose in the fashion that they did, it wasn't even a close game, I think, which is what made a lot more people annoyed. But Ireland just looked like they were the next tier above them, really, throughout that matchup. But the Cup Snake, at least, it would be relatively long by the end of the day, and maybe even today, for drowning the sorrows of the host nation. Amy Lee Murphy-Crow, I think she's got a pretty good shot being able to run in and get herself a try. My YouTube channel just got Bunnings EBC, and there says Brandon. Of course, a few matches of the Bunnings EBC taking place today. Taranaki, they were playing Tasman. Wellington, they were head-to-head with, who did Wellington play? I know that they narrowly won, though. The Australian in charge of this one. And also Malo again, Hamish, enough rest, bro. And Fiji, Ireland, all 10-15. So in favour of the Fijians, 15 points evening, gents, Hamish and Sebastian. I hope you guys had a good rest and ready for another night of footy 7, says Nathan. Kicked off by Fiji, and we are now underway once again, ladies and gentlemen. And Ireland been able to clean this one up nice and early. Going to be throwing their winger forward in Beth Parson. Fired back across for the Irish. Lucy Mulhall in the midfield, looking to try and pierce the gap, and it's a nice run in the end from McCabe. Does keep the front football going for the Fijians. A good luck, ladies, in Wellington versus Otago. And they had also, but this format sucks. Could have kept it like a soccer World Cup format. Yeah, I haven't heard one person say that they enjoy this new knockout format rather than the group stage and then going into the playoffs. Because it seems weird to have a side play less games than another side and then play in a knockout game. It just doesn't quite seem right, if that makes sense, unless there was like the advantage of if you absolutely blitzed your group in the regular pool stage. That's going to be a great tackle made on Naimasi, now only 5 meters out from the line. Fiji have now got themselves the attack. It looks like the scoreboard is asleep at the moment. Hasn't quite started updating as of yet. Now the quick tap taken by Kavuru going across. Keeping it alive for Fiji. It's close. And Donu just short of the line by half a meter. Fiji looking to find their way over, but Lecky gets there. And that will be the first try of the match for the flying Fijiana women's side. And they did actually do pretty well there because they were on the defensive for a good little minute or so and then just turned it around, got the ball, continued to attack, and then so strong, like the commentators are mentioning, just having that power to be able to break straight through over the top. An unfortunate result, Carl, but I just knew South Africa would falter at some stage of the tournament. Didn't quite expect to be against Ireland. See, Sebastian, but the thing is, New Zealand have to play Ireland next, and I'm not that confident New Zealand will be able to get the job done up against the Irish. From what we saw in that game up against the Blitz box, I think South Africa just came up against a very informed Irish side, and they weren't quite able to find a counter for it. And that's the thing with Sevens, since it's only 14 minutes long, you don't really have enough time to adjust. You can't really say you have a better second 40 because that second 40 doesn't really exist. And also at least got done by the team that knocked out the hosts. There's any comfort to be found. England, I mean, says Sebastian. And also, why wait a day to play? And also, but other teams had more time. Yes, even if they had a warm-up game, that didn't mean anything up against another top 8 side. Just an idea. If they do want to keep this format in the future, have them match up. So New Zealand, you look through, they could have played South Africa in just a little warm-up run. France versus Australia. I'm trying to think of the other sides in the top 8. England, they could have had a quick little run around up against the Argentines. Just something to get your body going, get you in the sevens mood. Because with the format, I actually expected to see a lot more of the round of 16 sides who hadn't played that first match knocked out. Luckily, I believe it was just England, or not so lucky for Sebastian, of course. Hi, says Amelia. Welcome in. Hope you are doing very well. Hope you have been enjoying all of the sevens. Australia and the men's and the women's both making it through to the quarterfinals. Their matches, or in fact, the semi-finals, even further. I knew they'd lose, but this World Cup format, or this World Cup needs a format change. And the score is 7-5. Says Graham. So currently at a 5 points to Fiji, 0 to Ireland. Although Fiji now looking for another attack straight up the middle. It will be Ripia Lunisau. And that's going to be now 10-0 in favour of the Fijians. Been loving how the Aussies have been going. Says Amelia. And how did Ireland manage to win over the Blitzbox? Fell asleep. Well, the thing is, they just looked very good throughout that game. I think is the best way of describing it. The Springboks Sevens side, in the conditions, they just weren't quite able to play to them. We'd seen a lot of sides slipping and sliding. South Africa were the same. Ireland seemed to be a lot more comfortable out there on the park, and they ended up winning by about 10 points. And there was a last-minute try for South Africa to make it only the 10 points difference rather than more. Have 32 teams, put them into groups, round of 16, and so on. Top 2 from each group goes through. Bottom 2 plays in a bowl competition, says Carl. I like it. And I feel like maybe they should look into it in the future because, yeah, like I mentioned, I haven't heard anyone say they enjoy this type of format because at the end of the day, whoever you come up against in those round of 16 games could cost you completely. As New Zealand, even televising this on Sky, it's actually on Spark Sport here in New Zealand for us Kiwis. So a little bit of a change up, and also on the World Rugby Cup or Rugby World Cup Sevens website, if you are outside of New Zealand, you are able to watch this game. A little bit of a juggle there on the wing. Looks like Fiji going to be able to take this ball back. In fact, no, little handling error on the ground as well, and it will become the penalty to Ireland. Taking the quick tap, Stacey Flood. Now offload on the inside to Mahal. Nice. Ball off. That looked forward. Okay, they say it's play on. I'll be honest, there has been a lot of missed forward passes throughout the Sevens World Cup, and can't wait for the match between South Africa and Argentina. And yeah, it's just around the corner. Going to be kicking off at 9:02 p.m. New Zealand time. We will be back covering that one. Also, nice sell on the dummy there from Amy Lee Murphy. Crow found the pass up to Flood, but then the ankle tap did take place. Penalty to Fiji with 1 minute 30 left on the clock of this first half. And hey, says the Ninja Dude, welcome in. A must win for Argentina, says Out of Delusion. And I'm not really sure about the Marvel Stadium as a Bledisloe venue. And even more, I guess, of a one to get used to, a Thursday night game for the Bledisloe Cup. I think it's going to feel real weird, but hopefully it is a good match in its own right now. Nice run forward, a little bit of a handling error from the Irish. It does seem a lot drier out there, though, than it was yesterday, and I hope that is how it remains. And also, we have got the Marvel Stadium as two big men. Says Carl Peterson, that's going to be the penalty for a high shot against the Fijians. Ireland now with the quick tap option. Couple deep breaths being taken by the Fijians, hands on hips. At the end of the day, that's really the first stoppage we have seen that's had proper time for either side to reset. And New Zealand will win today at Australia. Also, when is your birthday? Says the Ninja Dude. It's still quite a while. We are sitting, what are we, 11th of the 9th. It is still a couple months away, 2nd of December. So kind of close to Christmas. And I was reading my comment, bro. I got to it in the end. I didn't take too long to read it, I don't think. Definitely with the sevens going on, it's always very fast-paced. Currently a scrum feed on the halfway line. Mahal under pressure. Now finds the yellow float up to Amy Lee Murphy. Crow taken down nicely. Fiji aren't missing too many of their tackles throughout this one. And New Zealand versus Ireland is Out of Delusion. That's going to be a tough game for the Kiwis. And then also New Zealand versus France for the women's. Another little mistake from Ireland when they tried to take the quick tap. They put the ball down. Fiji, they're going to be up by the 2 tries. Going to be at 12 points to 0. And also anyone watching F1 later, I know that Isaac will definitely be given it a watch, I would think. Whereabouts is it taking place, Carl? Because I guess that will depend on whether he gets to watch the replay or watching it live. And it's not too big, it's too cricket, says Sebastian. And also, Sebastian, when is your birthday, bro? Says the Ninja Dude. And Sevens getting harder and harder to win as the host. And on the day I was born, the Ninja Dude. He's not wrong. And happy birthday, Sebastian. And also Italy, says Carl Peterson. Okay, so a little bit of an awkward time zone for us here in New Zealand. I think it would be a decent time for you in South Africa, wouldn't it? How disappointing was South Africa? Hey, says Hanley now. Yeah, just didn't really play the kind of rugby that we expect from the Blitz box. I was a little bit confused with the substitutions that they made because they have Cecil Africa, a 1,400-point veteran, off the bench, and they never decided to use him, which seems really strange, definitely in a game when you are really struggling to get any points on the board. And I'll be at the MCG next year. I'm just really excited to be going on Thursday because it's something I've been looking forward to since it was announced at Marvel. What time does the Seven Sisters play this week? So New Zealand, their first match, it is going to be 10:07 p.m. New Zealand time. That is for New Zealand versus France. And then the men are actually playing straight after 10:35 p.m. And also we have got, as though they had the chance but failed, says Out of Delusion. And also WTF Sebastian, bro, is it really your B-Day, bro? Says the Ninja Dude. They are just showing the 5th to 8th place playoff game between Samoa and France. That is going to be just around the corner, also about 35 minutes away. But this second half of this match, just about to get underway. Mahal gives it an almighty boot up high, and it's going to be knocked on from Ireland once again. Unfortunately, every time the Irish touch the ball, it does not turn to gold. It turns to a handling error at this point in time. And also, this week your profile too good. And also, we have got there, you brought up the birthday topic, mate. I'm confused, says Sebastian. And also, Vanaka Elizabeth, says Sarillo in there as well. And yeah, a little bit of a surprise that the World Cup Sevens did manage to go ahead the way that it did. But it is great to see them all in action. For this competition's going to be off the back now. Fiji, I've got it. Kavuru goes off nicely now. Ripia Lunisau. I wouldn't think she'll be too far away from joining this breakdown. Naimasi with a great carry forward, though. Now on the halfway line for the Fijians. Big hit. And Ireland starting to muscle up a little bit here, which is exactly what they need if they do want a chance of being able to go back into this contest. Now Fiji have thrown this ball away. Ireland have got it back. Amy Lee Murphy Crow gets that ball at the back of the breakdown and then does find the offload. Good run forward from Ireland. It's looking a lot better. Another penalty goes the way of Ireland. Quick tap taken, I believe that would have been by Emily Lane that time. Now finding the offload to Lucy Mahal. Amy Lee Murphy-Crowe, the speedster in the midfield, just not quite able to get that space that she requires. It looked like Fiji almost do. They get the turnover. They sure do. And also, right, the 31st of February in there says Sebastian, and also whoever wins the World Cup, New Zealand or Fiji, won't be mad about that. But please don't let Australia or Ireland get nobody like them, says Arlie. Now that's going to be the try now for Fiji, breaking through the line. This time it is Devea who has gone in to score it. Did you watch the UFC? I did watch all of the prelims and the Fight Pass prelims, and then saw a couple of the highlights of the bigger fights. As by that stage, my eyes were kind of half closed, and I was like, either I buy it and watch it later, but surely I end up finding out the results beforehand, or I do end up probably just watching a few of the highlights of those fights. Hamza was fired up as always, wasn't he? It's going to be the try for Devea. And also we have got there on Thursday, I got to go live with some of the Virgin River cast. I went live on my fan page because I was bored at work. And then the OA joined and sent a live request, and it was some of the cast. Says Amelia, so that would have been absolutely awesome for you. And also, lads, where did she go? Says out of delusion in Australia, we'll put up a fight. Ireland needs fitness. Says out of delusion there as well, yeah. And if Ireland can carry that momentum of beating the Blitz box tomorrow, or yesterday, sorry, I think they'll be a very handy side up against the Kiwis. The Kiwis, though, they haven't really been pushed too hard throughout the Sevens competition as of yet. They did have a rough game in their quarterfinal, though. Did they play Ireland? No, who did they play? Argentina was actually quite a close game. So I'll take that statement back. They did get pushed by the Argentines at times throughout that match. Now, it's stolen again by Fiji. Ireland at the back line on their own 22, and Aluni Sal has sniped it and said, thanks very much. I'll take that one as well. And also, we are getting a little surprised. Came out wrestling, says Carl Peterson. What an unfortunate nickname he's got for himself. But that's what happens when you miss 7.5 pounds, isn't it? And also, definitely something I won't forget. I swear I have a clip of I couldn't stop swearing because I didn't know how to react, except for the fact that I was excited. Says Amelia, but nice work from Ripi Alunisal. I'm probably going to be finishing this 1.5 litre bottle by the end. And also, Chuma, bro, are you doing the New Zealand game? We are indeed. So the New Zealand game for the women's is going to be kicking off at 10:05 or 10:07 p.m., sorry. And then also alongside that, 10:35 is when Ireland play New Zealand. It's kicked up high. And Fiji look to retain, and they've slapped it out of the hands of the Irish, but it is going to be the knock-on advantage and scrum feed now to Ireland. And also we have got there, Sebastian, did you pee on fire or what? Did you pee on fire? What happens if you pee on a fire? Is it like something to do with the smokes, the Ninja Dude, or is it something else in that case? And also we have got there, my only guess is that they noticed me because I made a story about Are You Okay Day, and I must have got their attention. Says Amelia, currently Ireland have got this ball 40 metres out from their line. Mile hole. It's just not working out for the Irish ladies, unfortunately. It doesn't seem like they've got that attacking urgency that they need to be able to go through. And also we get there, Tosaviti Cesarello, taken quickly by Ireland. Can they get themselves a singular try in this match at the moment? That is the big question. 2 minutes on the clock. Another advantage and another penalty going the way of Ireland. That will concern Fiji a little bit. They have given away a large amount of penalties throughout this match. So the winner of this game goes on to face off against Canada. The loser of this game will go on to face the USA. So more than likely, we are going to get to see ourselves an Ireland versus USA and a Fiji versus Canada 5th place playoff game. And also we have got the Amelia, how you doing? Says out of delusion. Couple more subs being made by Fiji. It looks like Nangasal making her way out onto the field. Salakoviti also as another replacement. And also we have got there, I'll let nature circumcise you. Well, it doesn't sound like the nicest way to go, I wouldn't think. Mulhull now passes off to Amy Lee Murphy-Crowe. This is a chance for Ireland, although cut off straight away by Ripia Lunisal, not actually getting that far, only up to the 40-metre line now. Now Ireland looking for the offload. This is working a lot better. It's going to be Meg Burns has to just throw that one away after the halfway line. Big shot by Fiji. Coming back for the knock-on and the tackle. It will be the scrum in favour of the Irish. And also we have got there, okay, Sebastian put him on timeout, says the ninja dude. Wait, so you do know it's you, the ninja dude, who is going to be timing out, maybe. And also we have got there, like I put on a OK Day post on my story, and I mentioned how my messages are always open if anyone needs to talk. And somehow it got their attention. The OA already follows me anyways, and the bloke was getting weird, says Sebastian. And there, now it's going to be back across. Taking a hard shot there, Emily Lane. 30 seconds left on the clock for the Irish to try and run in another try. Amy Lee Murphy-Crowe trying to break forward. It's going to be a little bit of a mistake on the ground and a knock-on in the process. Once again, it's just another one down for the Irish. So the dry conditions have not actually helped them out too much. And thanks, Sebastian, says Carl. 5 seconds left on the clock, Fiji. I mean, if I was Fiji here, I would probably kick the ball into touch. But I don't think they will. And 18 Mouse the Vibe says Attractive Sports. I think the New Zealanders are very happy at the moment, both making their way through. South Africa, the home side, I don't think there's as many people at the ground today, purely because the South Africans did get knocked out in the early stages, although they are going to be playing up against Ireland in their next match. So that will be something to look forward to. Now, short sides, Eluni Sal. You're not allowed to do that. Hang on. Wait, so you're allowed to run the ball into touch, but you're not allowed to pass it into touch. So Eluni Sal, she has closed out the game, and that is going to be 24 points to nil in favour of the Fijians. But nonetheless, we will be popping over to our next live stream. Thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all for a very short moment. In a very short moment, I should say instead. But I will see you all very shortly.